What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, fresh off the conference championships. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl in 2 weeks will feature Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford. This is your NFL review show. In this show, I rant, I rave, I review, and I react to the past weeks in the NFL. And I've got a lot to say. I don't only have a lot to say, I've got a lot to get off my chest. I've got my NWO jacket on, bro. I've got my NWO jacket on, and you know why I've got my NWO jacket on? Because I'm going full heel. I'm the bad guy here tonight. I turned heel tonight. I am going to get into some stuff, all right? I got a lot to say, and if you're a Chiefs fan, you're not going to like it. Let the kingdom burn. Burn it down to the ground. Because tonight, we are going to get into it. But before I review the conference championship games, the AFC championship game, the NFC championship game, make sure that you do spike that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more BLV just like this. And also, if you are subscribed, spike that notification bell. I see we already, right off the bat, have 2 Chiefs fans dislike this video. I appreciate that. Let's go, rap. Yeah, get those dislikes up. Let's go. Let's go. This is your NFL Weekly Review, and I promise this will be the very best NFL Weekly Review you have ever seen. Okay. I really enjoyed these past week's games. After the NFL divisional round, I thought NFL couldn't get any better. There's no possible chance that the NFL could put on a better show than they did during the divisional round. But what did they do? They went out there and they put out a great product. I didn't think it was quite as good as the divisional round. Obviously, less games, so less of a chance for it to be greater, for it to be brighter and better and more fantastic. But I thought that the AFC Championship game was a classic between the Bengals and the Chiefs. A lot to do with an absolute choke job by the Kansas City Chiefs that we'll get into. But we also saw potentially the rise of a legend in Joe Burrow. And then in the NFC Championship game, we saw McVay go toe-to-toe with Kyle Shanahan. And they swapped their jabs back and forth, jabbing, and then Stafford overhand right for the knockout. Matthew Stafford came with the knockout in the NFC Championship game. Let me know how you felt about the 2 games, but I thought both were pretty entertaining. I'd say the AFC game was more entertaining to me due to the comeback, and really, guys, we'll get into it, but I did not see that coming in any way, shape, or form. And I personally believe that we have a great Super Bowl between the Bengals and the Rams. Not in terms necessarily of the matchup, but for me as a fan, and I believe for a lot of NFL fans, I think this is a very likable Super Bowl. I don't think anybody is going to be sitting there saying, I don't want neither of these teams to win. I think a lot of people, whether you're a Vikings fan, a Panthers fan, a Niners fan, maybe if you're a Niners fan, you'll want the Bengals to win. If you're a Cowboys fan, you'll find a way to enjoy the Super Bowl. I don't think anybody's going to be sitting there saying, I hate this team, I hate that team. I think both ways, we've got a likable quarterback in Matthew Stafford. We've got a very likable quarterback in Joe Burrow. And we've got two teams that are kind of just likable and interesting and fun. And I think that makes for a very good Super Bowl. So, Gronk spiked that like button. Let's give some shout outs to some people. First off, the people on Patreon, the BLV GOATs. Shout out to the BLV GOATs on Patreon, the people that are supporting me at the top tier. Connor, shout out to Connor. Shout out to Bodo. Shout out to the rest of the crew, the GOATs on Patreon. You guys are the best. And throughout the offseason, I'm going to find more creative ways of filling up the content on Patreon. So if you're interested in that, make sure you check out the description. There's a bunch of different tiers that will get you different perks, so check it out. It starts at $3. You get the BLV vs. Consensus podcast, which Natasha came back and told me, I love this podcast, first time listening, and I loved it, so check it out. $5 tier gets you all my bets for the Super Bowl for the month, so check that out as well. And then on up, we'll have a bunch of different things on Patreon. I'm actually going to post a video that I intended on posting on YouTube that I never ended up posting. I'm going to put that on Patreon for people. So make sure you check out Patreon. Also, if you want to become a member and you enjoy the live streams here on the channel, you could become a BLVer on YouTube. You've got different badges for different tiers and the length that you've supported me here on YouTube. It's just $3 for everybody. You get exclusive updates from me. I posted a nice picture of my dog Ted, who was working on my computer the other day because he's the mastermind behind all of this stuff. And then we've got other perks as well, like you get pictures of me in the comments that you can post while I'm going live. And you've got the Gronk spike emoji as well and things like that. So make sure to check that out. YouTube members, if you could get it on the desktop version. It's much easier to access. And right beside the subscribe button, you'll see a massive join button. It's like a big join button. You press that. That's how you can join to become a BLVer. All right, so before we get to the AFC and NFC championship games, guys, let's get to the Lenny intro. Jones is my favorite quarterback 2021 NFL draft. San Francisco 49ers are legit contenders in 2019. Tom Brady is going to win the Super Bowl with the Bucs this year. All right, it is time to break down the AFC and NFC championship games. Let's say hello to the people. Tyree. He says, glad the Chiefs lost. They need humble pie. Mac Jones is in the chat. The baby goat himself says, Bengals are a dangerous team. James Orbit asks, do you think Jimmy G will be traded? I'm actually going to talk about Jimmy G in a bit. What's up, the Greg? How you doing, Daniel? Thank you for the compliment. He says, Joe Burr. What's up, Daniel? Zamora. What's going on? Samuel. Mr. Peter. Nathan. The coach himself. The sports goat. Lenny B. Who says, Stafford line view is coming soon. What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me here live tonight. Let's get to the Chiefs and the Bengals. Okay. The AFC Championship game. Remember when I said that sometimes when you beat a team that is expected to be your hardest opponent the round before you play another game, sometimes you can take that opponent lightly. Sometimes you play your heart out, you win a tight competitive game that takes all of your energy, and then the week later, you play a team that you're favored by 7.5 points. You're at home. The wife of the quarterback is spraying champagne all over the fans. The brother is dancing to TikToks. Remember when I said all this stuff? Exactly what happened. Kansas City Chiefs took the Bengals lightly. They beat the Bills. Everybody on Fox, Nick Wright, everybody on ESPN, Dan Orlovsky, everybody on NFL Network is saying, Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. It's easy. It's easy. It's not even going to be close. It's going to be a blowout. Chiefs are going to win easy. And what happens in the game? Joe Burrow has come back to Kansas City. Joe Burrow came back on the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, not once, but twice this season. The game literally replicated itself twice. He went to Chief Kingdom. He took his match. He torched that field, and the Chief Kingdom burned itself down to the ground with the biggest choke job in recent memory. Guys, the Kansas City Chiefs lost to a rebuilding team. The supposed best quarterback in the NFL. Remember, and I'm going to call out my guy Ultra here. Last week, Ultra's sitting here in Discord saying, Mitch, I was wrong. Mahomes is still the best quarterback. And I'm saying, you've lost your mind. You have lost your mind, Ultra. You always overreact to one game. Everybody is crowning Patrick Mahomes. And I'm saying, nah, I don't even know if he's the best quarterback in this game. The best quarterback in this game. Because in this game, the AFC Championship game, in one corner, we had a generational talent. A man that no matter the odds, no matter the score or the time on the clock, even let's say 13 seconds, you cannot count this guy out. A man who has electrified audiences around the world. And in the other corner, we had Patrick Mahomes. See, Joe Burrow, there's a reason people are saying he is the next Tom Brady. Because Joe Burrow, who's the only quarterback to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs? Everybody keeps saying it. Oh, I don't bet against Mahomes unless it's against Brady. Joe Burrow beat him. Joe Burrow was ice cold. Ice in his veins. This man. Guys, look at this for a second. Look at this. These are plays that Patrick Mahomes could not make. Look at this. How was Joe Burrow not sacked on these plays? Look at the first one. We've got the guy right in his face. Right in his face. How is he not sacked? He got out of that. Look at this play. Look at the one at the bottom. How's that even possible? Chris Jones is all over him. Look at that play. Chris Jones tackled him. I thought. Not once, but twice. Joe Burrow escaped Chris Jones. The third play. How? How is this possible? There's two people. There's Ingram and Chris Jones, who are like triple the weight of Joe Burrow. Look it. There's no O-line to be seen. But the man has ice in his veins. In one corner, we have the next Tom Brady. In the other, we've got Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs fans, you think I'm going to forget? You think I'm going to forget? All of you guys over the last 2-3 months coming into my chat, coming onto my videos, saying, you're an idiot. The Chiefs are overrated. They're going to be in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs aren't overrated. The Chiefs are the next dynasty. We are in the middle of the reign of the Chiefs. Where are you at now? I don't see you anywhere. Where are you at? Where are you at, bro? How come I haven't got any new comments on those videos? I made a couple videos this year. Don't bet on the Chiefs. I hope you didn't bet on them this weekend. And the Chiefs are overrated. How come I haven't gotten any new comments? Did you guys delete your YouTube accounts? Where'd you go? What happened? I thought you were the best team in the league. I thought it was a foregone conclusion you were going to win the Super Bowl. Huh? Foregone conclusion. Should have been favored the whole time. Here's the thing. The only playoff win you guys got was against Big Ben. Big Booby Ben. That's it. The other one, you played the Bills, and Sean McDermott gave you the game on a silver platter. And then you play the Bengals in your home building. The Bengals. They're rebuilding. And you choke. Choke. Absolutely choke. So, Chiefs fans, what happened? I thought you were this unstoppable force. The immovable object. What happened? I thought you were going to win 7 Super Bowls. 8, 9, 10 Super Bowls. What happened? Huh? What's going on? Let's ask Brittany what happened. All Patriots fans, we still have 6 Super Bowls. Once Patrick has been in the league as long as Brady, then chat to me about Super Bowls. Patrick is 24, Brady is 42. You just wait. Well, Brittany, where are your Super Bowls? I don't see them. Where are the rings? You got 1 ring. You've got 1. You've got 1. Where's the second one? Where's the third one? I remember you played in the Super Bowl last year. You didn't score a touchdown. And from what I remember, that was against Tom Brady. Where's the second ring? You've had 2 AFC championships in your building. You lost both. You lost both games. Both. You've lost 2 home games in the AFC Championship. You know how many games Brady has lost at home in the AFC Championship? He's played in 7. He's lost 1. He's 6-1. Brittany, what happened? I thought you had the champagne ordered. The champagne on, it was ready. It was ready to go. Patrick Mahomes, I gotta say something to you. I gotta say something. Mahomes, your wife is a psycho. Your brother is a weirdo. How do you lose? You can't lose. You can't lose with those 2. You can't. You're going to get torched for the rest of existence. How do you lose? It's so sad. I really was sitting here thinking there was a dynasty. I mean, look. I was sitting here thinking there was a dynasty on our hands here. Look. I mean, Fox thought... look. I thought it was a dynasty. Yahoo Sports. Patrick Mahomes confirms Chiefs mega deal with hype video. We're chasing a dynasty. I guess that didn't work out. PFT. Chris Jones promises 5+ rings for the Chiefs. Well, I guess that didn't work out either. Bleacher Report, maybe they'll be accurate here. Tyreek Hill predicts the Chiefs will win 7 Super Bowls. Okay. You're a little off. You've got a few more to go. You're a little off, Chris. A little off. Tyreek's very far off. And Mahomes boy, you blew it. You blew it. The fact of the matter is, Tom Brady has more rings than Kansas City during the Chiefs dynasty. That is sad. You got less rings than a 40-year-old man. What happened? I thought you were unstoppable. I thought you were unstoppable. Somebody said that the Bengals aren't rebuilding. The Bengals didn't think they'd be here. The Bengals would be happy to have won one playoff game, even just make the playoffs. Do you remember the preseason expectations? Do you remember the preseason expectations of the Cincinnati Bengals? Fact of the matter is, Patrick Mahomes got the yips. He couldn't make the big plays. He was running into sacks. He was taking 20-yard sacks. He fumbled. He almost gave the game away before overtime. And now, guess what, guys? Guess what? His cap goes from $7 million to $35 million next season. So you had an opportunity. And this is why people that are talking about the Chiefs and saying, oh, they'll have plenty of opportunity down the road, this isn't a choke. They rather like the Chiefs, they're fans of the Chiefs, or they're just stupid. How many teams have you seen win with a quarterback making $36 million? The Chiefs had a window, and they missed the window. They got 1 Super Bowl, which is fantastic, but you guys said you're going to win 7. Chris told me 5, Tyreek said 7, so let's just assume that you were going to win 6. So far, you're not on that track. You've got 1. You played at home twice, you lost. And now you got to face reality. You got to face NFL reality, which is your quarterback's going to make a lot of money. Patrick's going to make $36 million next year, and it only goes up from there. 44, 50. It goes up. Are you guys going to win Super Bowls when Patrick Mahomes is making $45 million and he's running into 3-man rushes and sacks and fumbling the ball 20 yards backwards and throwing the ball into double coverage in overtime? Meanwhile, you got to beat Justin Herbert. You got to beat Joe Burrow. You got to beat Josh Allen. You got to beat Lamar Jackson. You got to beat Mac Jones. You got to beat this AFC that's loaded. Loaded with young quarterbacks. Damn right, Bodo, I'm a heel. I want to say this about Joe Burrow. This kid's special, man. He does the undescribable things. I don't understand how the Bengals have made it to the Super Bowl. I don't understand it. There's something about Super Bowls and the name Joe. Joe Montana. Joe Namath. You know what? Joe Burrow is probably the second greatest Joe I've seen. Behind Joe Flacco, obviously. Joe has the it. He has the indescribable factor. It just happens. I don't understand it. Like, that one play against Chris Jones had him twice. Twice! He had him twice. And he got away for 6 yards and a first down. He outplayed the golden boy. He outplayed the NFL's favorite guy, I was going to say Joe Flacco. Might as well be. Patrick Mahomes. By the way, shout out to the Bengals. Wide receivers. See, what I love about the Bengals wide receivers is that you can't play the Bengals a certain way. When you play the Bengals, you can't play man. You can't play cover one. You can't have one safety deep because then the other guy's going to burn you. You can't play man because how many teams have 3 corners that can match up with Chase, Boyd, and Higgins? If you play man, you got to have 2 safeties deep, which allows Burrow to buy more time in the pocket, run around, and make throws. If you play zone, Burrow is going to eat you up underneath and find the right guy in the void of the zone. See, Burrow is special. He's supported by a great supporting cast of wide receivers that dictate to a defense how they have to play, which helps Joe Burrow be special. It's a combination of both. But you got to give a shout out to the next generation of wide receivers in Cincinnati. Those guys have been a huge reason why they're going to the Super Bowl. Now, what is Andy Reid? What is he thinking? What is Andy Reid thinking? Can someone please explain to me what Andy Reid is doing? Andy Reid has needed a clock management coach for about 25 years. He still hasn't figured out how to manage the clock. And then we've got Patrick Mahomes, who didn't only suck in the second half, he sucked before the halftime, guys. He's the reason that they didn't score a touchdown. Any competent quarterback understands that you've got one throw at the end of the first half. You've got 5 seconds or whatever it was. You've got one throw. You could throw it in the end zone. You're going to score a touchdown. It's going to be incomplete. You can't throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage to allow Tyreek Hill to get tackled and the half is over. You cost yourselves 3 points. So what is the conversation here between Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes? Andy Reid's got to tell Patrick what's going on, and Patrick's got to be smart enough in that situation to understand as a quarterback his deal, like what he's supposed to do. So I believe that's more on Patrick Mahomes there. But Andy Reid, like, I've seen way too many games where the guy messes the clock. But I'm going to blame mostly Mahomes on that one, because as a quarterback that is known as Ultra's best quarterback in the NFL, he should know to throw the ball into the end zone for a completion, for a touchdown, or an incompletion. He should know that. And then we got to talk about overtime, okay? So overtime, can we shut up about overtime? Can we shut up about the coin toss? Do you guys understand that defense exists in the NFL? Teams that play good defense. Hold on. Breaking news. Breaking news. Hold on. It was just reported that Al Davis has fired Sean McDermott for the 3rd time after not kicking the ball into the air in the AFC divisional game. So Sean McDermott has been fired once again after seeing the Bengals beat the Chiefs. Sean McDermott, get out of here. But back to overtime. You've got to play defense. It's part of the game. I don't care what the rules are. Play by the rules and win the game. It shouldn't matter if both teams get the ball. That's some loser shit. That is loser shit. Stop them. Play defense. And what did the Bengals do? They showed they're the superior team by playing defense, stopping the Chiefs. Stopping the Chiefs. They stopped them. They got a pick. Jesse Bates, one of the most underrated players in the NFL. Jesse Bates batted the ball out of the air into the hands of Von Bell. Interception. By the way, Mahomes, what are you doing? It's double coverage. There's two players. Why are you throwing that? Why are you throwing that? What is he doing? Guys, how many plays did we see where he's running around? There's three guys rushing. He's running into the sack. Bro, it's a three-man rush. Stay in the pocket. Stay in the pocket. What? Look at that guy. That's a stud right there. You got to talk about the Bengals. The Bengals did a great job in this game. They changed their approach defensively. They changed their approach. They started sending 3 in the second half. And what that was doing was you drop 8, right? So if you have 3 rushing instead of 4, you drop 8 instead of 7. Simple math here. Simple mathematics. When you drop 8, there's more people in coverage, so it's easier to take away that read. It's easier to take away the first read of Mahomes. And we know that Mahomes, he has a tendency when the first read isn't open, he'll start running around. And the instruction of the Bengals was, okay, we got contains on the edge. We might have a delayed rusher, a spy that drops over the middle and then rushes Mahomes late. They got a key sack from Sam Hubbard in that same way and that execution through the 3-man rush with the delayed blitzer, the delayed rusher. That was key. What else did they do? The Bengals defense, they shut them down again. They held them to 3 for the second time this season in the second half. What did the Bengals do specifically in the second half that they didn't do in the first half? Well, I'll tell you what they did. What they did was they played more physical defense. They got in the face of the Chiefs receivers. They became physical. They started grabbing, holding, because they realized, whoa, it's the playoffs. These refs don't call anything. So I'm going to get up and I'm going to start holding when I need to hold. I got to get physical. They're not going to call illegal contact. They might call it once out of every 10 times. I'm going to get handsy. So they started playing more physical. They started putting more people in coverage. Why? Again, because the refs, this is a big factor to think about. The refs in these games didn't call shit. So what happened? When a ref isn't calling shit, you got to be able to sense how the refs are going to call a game. And in this game, they weren't calling holding at all. They weren't calling holding on the defense, in the secondary, or the offensive lines. So by rushing 4, teams are just holding you the whole game. They're holding Trey Hendrickson. They're holding Sam Hubbard, right? So what's the point of rushing 4? Let's have more guys in the secondary to cover, because they're not going to call holding on the Chiefs' offensive line. So let's have more guys in the secondary, take away those passing lanes, force Patrick Mahomes to panic and piss himself. And then you're going to be able to sack him, cause a pressure, cause a bad throw into a passing lane. So the refs in many ways dictated how this game was played, especially in the second half, because they didn't want to call anything. And we also saw this on the Bengals offense, because Jamar Chase started pushing off. You know, T. Higgins started becoming more physical at the top of the route, pushing off a little bit. The Bengals' offensive line started to hold. But that's the way the game was played. So, everything factored in this game. Great job by the Bengals defense to adjust to find a game plan in the second half that would not just stop the Chiefs, but rattle Patrick Mahomes. We saw for the first time in playoff history, in my opinion, from the Chiefs at home, where Mahomes was visually rattled, looking like Aaron Rodgers in the last 2 years in the playoffs, where he just visually looked off. He didn't look like the same player in the first half that he did in the second half. Something happened. Something tweaked in his brain. Something set him off. He looked like Jimmy G. He looked like Aaron Rodgers. The pressure mounted. It got tight. The butt cheeks squeezed together. And the Bengals defense played great. Offensively, Joe Burrow was ice cold. Amazing scrambles to extend plays. Great job by T. Higgins. Phenomenal game by him. Joe Mixon, phenomenal runs at the end to set up the field goal. McPherson is a baller. He is a dog. So, I didn't think Cincinnati had a shot, a prayer, to get to the Super Bowl before the playoffs. But they weren't scared of anybody. Not one person. Not one team. They sure as hell were not scared going into Kansas City. That showed in the second half. Down 21-3. They come back. So congratulations to the Bengals. That was a very entertaining game to watch. But the story, as much as you want to say the Bengals won it, the Bengals deserve it, the Bengals played great. The Chiefs blew it. The Chiefs said they had a dynasty. I don't want to hear no dynasty talk no more. Win 2 rings before we talk about dynasty. Shut up, Brittany. Shut up. I don't want to see one more TikTok from Jackson. I don't want to see it. If it comes up, I don't want to see it. Now you got to deal with the real experience of the NFL. You got to deal with the cap hit. You got to deal with a quarterback that's making real money. Now will you have a dynasty? Let's see. Now it's open to discussion. Welcome to the real world, Chiefs Kingdom. You thought I would forget? I do not forget. I've got all of the proof I need. I've got all the screenshots. I've got all the comments. You better go back. You better delete it. You said I was stupid. I was an idiot. What? I don't know what I'm talking about. But the fact of the matter is, I was right again. I told you, you're overrated. You're not winning shit. You didn't win shit. Your dynasty didn't exist. It was fabricated. It was pixie dust. What I learned about this game, once again, that in one corner, we had a generational talent, and in the other, we had Patrick Mahomes. So congratulations to Joe Burrow. He is going to the Super Bowl, and the Bengals are going nowhere. All right. Let's get to the NFC Championship game. But before we get to the NFC Championship game, hold up. I just saw the family portrait for the Mahomes family. Let's check this for a sec. Oh. That's a good looking photo between father and son. Very nice one. Looks good. All right. Let's get to my guy. Before we get to the NFC Championship game, we have a man named Ultra. You know, the guy, he always wears the sunglasses in the video. He does the dreaded top 10s throughout the season. He's got a podcast with OG, the Lenny B. And they talk football all the time. He's on the BLVverse Consensus show. Well, Ultra manned up. Ultra came to me. He said, Mitch, I was wrong. You were right. I said, of course I'm right. I'm always right. So what he said was, I was wrong about Stafford. I was wrong. Well, explain. What were you wrong about? So Ultra decided to write an apology to Matthew Stafford. This is the apology. Posted it on Instagram. Dear Matthew Stafford, I am sorry for all the criticism I have given you over the last 12 years. Clearly, the Detroit Lions are impossible to win with. And the fact that you even had 4 winning seasons is remarkable. Mitch of TheBottomLineView tried to tell me about this, but I didn't listen. You survived a Brady comeback and made it to a Super Bowl against all odds. You have proven me wrong. Go win the Super Bowl for Georgia, and to make people like me continue to eat their words. Good luck, Ultra. A very nice letter from our guy Ultra here. Very nice letter. Gives the recognition to me and all people that have been telling you for years that Matthew Stafford is elite. Matthew Stafford, it's not his fault that the Lions suck. That if he was on a good team, he would win. And what did we see in 2021? What are we seeing in 2022? We are seeing people like Ultra, as he says, eat their words. Eat their words. Because Matthew Stafford, in his first season outside of Detroit, has proven me right. He went to LA. He went to the Rams. And in 1 year, he is in the Super Bowl. Win, lose, or draw, Matthew Stafford's Hall of Fame resume is improved. Win, lose, or draw, Matthew Stafford will be looked at differently. Win, lose, or draw, the BLV stock is on the rise because Matthew Stafford has made the Super Bowl. On that note, Bodo with the super chat. Thank you, Bodo. $20 from Bodo, the GOAT. 51% of the time, Mitch is 100% right. I would agree with part of that sentence. The 100% part. All right. This is also Ultra. A Falcons fan seeing Stafford traded to a great team. I see what you've done for other people, and I want that for Matt Ryan. I think this is Ultra right now in his room, praying to the heavens that Matt Ryan sees the same success that Matthew Stafford has seen. Good luck to Matt Ryan. Can he replicate that success? We will find out. All right. The NFC Championship. First off, congratulations to Matthew Stafford. Congratulations to Odell Beckham Jr. Two guys that have been at the top of the BLV train. The top of the pyramid. The top of the top. Every single year. I come on here, I say, Matthew Stafford's underrated, and it is not Odell. And the Odell Beckham Jr. Matthew Stafford combination is in the and that means the stock is on the rise. It's at an all-time high. All I was hearing for the last 2 years is that OBJ was the problem in Cleveland. He's a drama queen. You can't play with him. You can't win with him. You can't do it. Well, that's not the case, is it? That's not the case. So much so it's not the case that we saw Odell actually after the game, go to Deebo Samuel, embrace Deebo Samuel, whisper in his ear, and say, I know what it's like to play with a shit quarterback. And then give him a hug and cry with him. That's exactly what happened. Odell Beckham Jr. is in the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford's in the Super Bowl. Two guys that I've been riding it with for the last 3 years. And I've taken criticism, a bunch of criticism about it. My quarterback rankings videos. Why is Matthew Stafford at 6? You found out why. Why is Odell Beckham Jr., why do you want him on the Patriots? He's not a winner. What did he do in this game? He got 100 yards. He got 10 plus catches. Played one of his best games in a long time. And is he the same player as he used to be with the Giants? No, but he's still a great player. He has matured as a person, as a human being. And he has meshed with the LA team. He has become a leader of the team, of a Super Bowl team. Matthew Stafford, they said he couldn't win a playoff game. What has he done? He's beaten the Cardinals. Easy. Blowout. He went to Tampa, beat Tom Brady, and survived a B80 comeback. 27-3. He almost choked, but he didn't. He didn't. And then in the NFC Championship game, sure, did he get a little bit lucky with Jaquiski Tart dropping the ball? But it's better to be lucky than good. And Matthew Stafford, the reason the Rams are in the Super Bowl is because of Matthew Stafford and because of the addition of Odell Beckham Jr. If Odell was not picked up and they lost Robert Woods, there's no way they make the Super Bowl. No way. If Matthew Stafford is not the quarterback of this team and Jared Goff is, there's no way they make the Super Bowl. No way. No chance. And as Vince McMahon would say, no chance in hell. See, what we witnessed in the NFC Championship game was the reason why Sean McVay got Matthew Stafford. Because what we saw in the NFC Championship game was Matthew Stafford versus Jared Goff. That is what we saw in this NFC Championship game. I know that Jared Goff looked a lot more handsome in this game. I know that he looked more Italian in this game, but that's not the case. I know that it's Jimmy Garoppolo, JG, but what we really saw was JG Jared Goff. We saw the difference between an average system quarterback and a real Hall of Fame talent, first overall pick, takes the Lions to the playoffs quarterback. We saw Matthew Stafford was the difference between the Rams and the Niners. And he proves to everybody, Ultra sitting at home, Lenny sitting at home, Durkant eating his words. He proved to everybody why context and situation matters in sports, especially at quarterback. Especially at quarterback. He was put on a good team. He went to the Super Bowl. Now, more on the difference between Jimmy G and Stafford. See, Stafford was money on third down. He was money on third down. It's not like the Rams were running the ball very well in this game, but every time he had to, he delivered the throw. That throw to Kupp in the end zone, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. The throws on third down to Cooper Kupp, the throws to Odell. Unbelievable stuff. The scramble. That's clutch. And really, you look at Sean McVay. You look at Sean McVay. A guy that was terrible in this game. I mean, there is no way around it. Sean McVay got bailed out by Matthew Stafford. He had terrible challenges that made no sense. The people sitting at their bar, at the bar there, the people even in attendance in the stadium were saying, why are you challenging this? I see the replay. This is stupid. So he lost not one, not two. He lost 3 timeouts before the game really, you needed the 3 timeouts. 10 minutes left in the game, he had no timeouts left. But Matthew Stafford said, I got you, coach. Don't worry. Sean McVay didn't need his timeouts because Matthew Stafford said, you don't need it. I got you. So you've got Stafford making big throws. And then when it comes to Odell Beckham Jr., this is why he was a difference maker. Okay, so you got Cooper Kupp in the slot to the left. How many times did we see this formation? Cooper Kupp on the left in the slot. Odell solo on the right. So, what's the case there? Odell Beckham Jr.'s ability to win in isolation, to win one-on-one on a route, to win with his hands, to win with just getting open, separating. That secondary option for when the Niners keyed in on Kupp and Odell was one-on-one, Odell would win the route and make the play. And then you've got Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp. These two are a dynamic duo in this game. And really, this was their whole offense. We didn't see much Van Jefferson. We saw Ben Skowronek drop the ball. We saw Cam Akers stink again. We saw Sony Michel had a bad game. Cooper Kupp. Can somebody ask, like, the Niners, anybody that the Rams have played all year, why do teams treat Cooper Kupp like he's some average wide receiver? Why does Cooper Kupp not get double teams? Why do people not double Cooper Kupp? Can somebody answer this question? I swear, I'm watching these games every week with the Rams, and they treat him like a pedestrian. They treat him like he's N'Keal Harry. He's not N'Keal Harry. He's Cooper fucking Kupp. That's who he is. K-U-P-P. That's what he is. He's open every play. You gotta double him, bro. You've got to. What? He's one of the best receivers in the NFL, and nobody is putting 2 people on him ever. When you watch the Chiefs, you got 2 people on Tyreek. When you watch the Bengals, you got 2 people on Jamar Chase. When you watch the Packers, there's 2 people on Adams. Why are there not 2 people on Cooper Kupp? He's Cooper fucking Kupp. Put 2 people on him. Why do you got 1? It's third down. Stafford's going to throw it to him. How do you not lose, guys? You can't let the best player beat you. You got to take him out of the game. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And really, the end of the game, you've got Jimmy Garoppolo, who was terrible, bro. Jimmy Garoppolo was absolutely horrendous. Horrendous. He was atrocious. And It kills me as a Kyle Shanahan stan. It kills me because every single time the Niners lose, and specifically when they lose a lead, everybody says, oh, Kyle Shanahan's overrated. He stinks. And everybody's jealous of him because he's the son of a great coach. So everybody just thinks that everything was given to the guy. I made a whole video on it. The Rise of Shanahan. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. But regardless of that, it's not Kyle Shanahan's fault. The reason they lost is because they've got a quarterback who stinks. Look at this guy. Okay, in the fourth quarter of the NFC Championship, the fourth quarter of this NFC Championship, Jimmy Garoppolo went 3 for 9 for 30 yards and 1 interception. He had a 4.2 passer rating. 4.2. That's almost as low as Monty's IQ. In the Super Bowl 2 years ago, Jimmy Garoppolo went 3 for 11, 36 yards and an interception, 2.8 passer rating, which is about Monty's IQ. Okay? So you can blame Kyle Shanahan all you want. Should he have maybe went for the 4th down and 2? Maybe, right? Maybe, right? But, like, you got to think about this game, okay? You've got to think about this for a second. How did the Niners get to where they're at? He relied on the running game. He relied on the defense. And Kyle knows this. Kyle understands this. The score of the game is 17-14. Okay, think about this for a second. The score of the game is low. 17-14. It's 4th and 2. Could you go for it? Yes. Would I be mad at you if you went for it? Absolutely not. I think that would be a fine call. But the game is a defensive game. Every yard has been challenging. If you look at the yards per carry for the Niners, they averaged about 2 yards per carry. So you're really rolling the dice if you're going to get 2 yards running the ball. And you sure as hell, if you're Kyle Shanahan, you're in a tough spot because you don't trust your quarterback to make a completion. He's throwing 50% completion in this game. You're not trusting him to make a throw on 4th and 2. You're probably going to run the ball. And they just stopped you 2 plays in a row running the ball for 1 yard. So do you really want to go for it in that situation and get stopped 3 plays in a row and give up a shorter field in a defensive game? So the context of the situation says that Kyle probably made the right decision. Even though they scored at the end, they had an opportunity with 2 minutes left to go down the field and score. If Jimmy Garoppolo makes a couple throws, they might be able to tie the game at 20, right? They might. Could you trust your short yardage offense at the point? Really, the reason the Niners lost this game, other than the difference at quarterback, is the fact that they couldn't run the ball. And that's just the Rams being better. That's just the Rams front outplaying the Niners, period. It's just the Rams understanding how to stop them and stopping them and out-executing them and getting more men to the ball and just playing a good game, right? The Niners 2 times in this season have been able to steamroll, overpower the Rams. But you know what the Rams figured out this time? The Rams have been a defense that always plays the pass, plays the pass, plays the pass. But what did they figure out in this game? They figured out that Jimmy Garoppolo can only throw the ball in the middle of the field, in between the numbers, and he can't throw the ball past 15 yards. He doesn't do it. He doesn't throw outside. He doesn't throw deep. So, if you're a defense, you're putting everybody in the box. You're putting everybody in zones in the middle of the field. You're condensing the field. And you're forcing Jimmy to make a dangerous throw over the middle where he throws a suicide pass to Deebo Samuel. He gets knocked out. So really, Jimmy Garoppolo's inability to be a difference maker and Matthew Stafford's ability to be a difference maker, where Matthew Stafford can hit any throw on the field, left, right, center, 40 yards, 60 yards, 20 yards, 10, 5 yards. Jimmy, condensed, only makes throws over the middle of the field, in between the numbers, up to 15 yards. And I love Jimmy. I think he's a cool dude. I think he's been great for the Niners. But the fact of the matter is, he's just not talented enough in the NFC Championship game. You can't blow so many easy completions that he blows early in games. Every single time I watch the Niners, he misses 3 or 4 throws that would change the game. There was one early in the game, I want to say it was to Kittle, and he just missed it. He just missed a 20, 30-yard play. You can't miss that play in the NFC Championship. You can't miss it. You can't. You can't blow it. The margins are too small in these games. You need to make those throws when they're there. And he can't run. He can't escape pressure. He's not making anything outside of structure. With Jimmy, you've got to put everything on a silver platter for him to get it done. You've got to, and it wasn't enough for the Niners. I feel bad because they have a very talented team. The fact that they made it this far with a quarterback that clearly doesn't deserve to be here in this spot is amazing to me. I think the job that roster has done, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams playing through pain, the defense, Nick Bosa, the coaching staff, Ryans and Shanahan, they've got a bright future. Ahead of them, they'll be a very good team. They'll be a very good team. But you've got to give the Rams credit for understanding the limitations of Jimmy Garoppolo, allowing that to help them stop the run. With a guy like A'Shawn Robinson being an unsung hero, he was phenomenal in this game. Offensively making the correct adjustments, understanding the flaws of the Niners at the cornerback position, attacking their corners on the perimeter consistently, Stafford making those big-time throws that Jimmy could not make, and advancing to the Super Bowl. It's as simple as that. You could talk about all that you want about Shanahan blowing this lead or the Niners not getting it done in the end, but simply put, the Rams were a more ready team because they have that quarterback in place. And why did they have that quarterback in place? They went all in for the quarterback. They went all in for this team this year. The Rams, they got the difference maker, Matthew Stafford, and he became the difference maker when they needed him the most. Last week, this week, and maybe even in the Super Bowl. So that's my take on the NFC Championship game. Absolutely. Look at this guy, by the way. Look at this guy. How can you not like this guy? By the way, Rodgers is just Stafford with a less arm strength and not in Detroit. That's Lions fans watching Matthew Stafford. Okay. Now let's talk about Jimmy Garoppolo for a quick sec. Where will Jimmy end up playing next year? So finishing off with this. So obviously he's not going to be back with the Niners. Most likely it will be Trey Lance to be their quarterback next season, and they will move on to a new era. So where will Jimmy play? Well, let's go through the list of teams. The Houston Texans, the Washington Football Team, Pittsburgh Steelers, the Denver Broncos, the New Orleans Saints, Carolina Panthers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those would be the teams. I think Washington makes a lot of sense in terms of the fit in that system. The Panthers would be interesting, although it might be like getting Sam Darnold 2.0. The Texans make sense because of the connection with Nick Caserio, if they go in that direction. Tampa Bay, if Brady retires, could be a possibility. The Broncos, if they don't get Aaron Rodgers. And the Steelers, I don't know about the Steelers just because I feel like He doesn't really fit the mold of a Steelers quarterback to me. Usually they like bigger guys with strong arms, pocket quarterbacks. I don't see Jimmy that way. I see him as a West Coast type quarterback, which is why I think Washington would be a good fit. I could see New Orleans being a good fit as well if they run an offense similar to the Drew Brees offense there. I feel like Jimmy could fit that fairly well. I'll probably end up making a video about this and discussing the possibilities and ranking the possibilities, but those are the ones that come to my head. Let me know where you think he will end up in the comments. If you guys haven't already, make sure that you do Gronk Spike that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more BLV. And Gronk Spike the notification bell for the latest upload. Can't wait to get to the Super Bowl content and break down the Bengals and the Rams. I'm also extremely excited moving forward for some ideas that I have for different videos throughout the offseason. So if you guys aren't already, get in the Discord, discussing football every single day. Links are in the description for all of this stuff that I'm talking about. If you want to follow me on Twitter, if you want to follow me on Instagram, if you want to join the Discord where you can get all of the announcements for every video, stay up to date, and communicate with all of the other BLVers out there. You could also follow the Patreon, get the BLV vs. Consensus podcast, where Durkant gives the coldest takes ever, and Ultra apologizes for his terrible takes, and Lenny laughs at them. And then you could also become a member on YouTube here by clicking that join button and get exclusive perks for all the live streams that I do here on YouTube. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review of Conference Championship Sunday. Chiefs Kingdom. I told you, man. I told you. Burn it down. Peace.